Hello, and welcome to the fabulous episode 6 of the Pixelated Podcast, being brought to you by your local neighborhood of assholes, starring Denzel.
Yes.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? I guess we are your local
Big
gang of
asshole, man.
assholes, bro. Hey, no, hell no, nigga. Hell no, bro. But I will stress your bitch asshole out. Stop playing with me.
On
Wait,
God.
what?
Not you, Rodney. Hey, it's not like. Hey, look. I'm just saying in general. Big cat man on the scene every day. You know what I mean? Oh
Shit,
man,
I'm
what's
not the one
going
you're
on?
gonna have to worry about. Asking if I can pet you. You better stop.
Hey, look. Bro, look.
That
Don't
was
take it
a
personally,
so
because I'm
That
in
was the
character,
worst
bro.
comeback ever.
How,
Because
bro?
you should have.
Hey, look, I should have
framed
said
it a
it
little
wasn't.
different.
Alright, the framing is off, but it's a comeback. You know, it's a joke.
Rodney said
It's
Paul
alright.
Brazil said no, resume. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Hey, look, it is what it is. It is what it is.
I ain't even gotta lift a finger for that one. She got you.
Yeah, she does
Bro.
got you. Rodney's got us, and Lerone is our
She's
last
small
member.
as hell, but she a
What's
fucking tussler, bro.
Oh
She-
no, I bet she. Hey, look, bro. I'm sure she got some hands. I don't want the problems. I'm
She'll
not.
jump on the motherfucker back and choke him out. You better-
Hey, look, bro. Is that from personal experience, man? You
She told me she jumped on the motherfucker back one time because they was trying to steal shit out of her store.
Hey, yo, what the
Man, grab. That's
Wild,
crazy.
Yo,
bro.
this-
She was.
This
She
is a
was
real
ready.
ass situation, dude. She was ready with that 360 input. She was there. That man got too close. He died. That's how it goes.
If she played fighting
Yeah.
games, she'd be a grappler.
Yep.
Oh no.
Well,
R.I.P.
regardless of the horrific endeavors we must go through every day, we are here to talk about all kinds of nonsense, but especially video games, because that's what makes us all truly happy, doesn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
See.
The
Busted massive.
busting, just out here busting every day. Busting
Got to,
almost
keep
as
it
hard
Oh yeah.
as
definitely.
PlayStation when they play Final Fantasy 16, but we'll get to that shortly, right after we find out what we've been doing this past week. I think Denzel hasn't started first. Let's start with Denzel. Have you been doing any video game stuff lately?
Not as much as I would like to. Definitely still been playing that Final Fantasy 16. Gotta say, bro, some of these fights are actually insane. Fun to play. It kind of feels like what I imagined. No, it's just like God of War in a sense. Some of those fights, I feel like it's on the same scale. But overall, it's been a great game. Really looking forward to getting to the end of it, but I'm definitely moving at a snail's pace. I feel like most people have already beat this game and are on the second playthrough. But shit, I'm actually enjoying these cutscenes. Like, there's an actually good story that they've built up pretty good over this 27 hours I've been playing or so. And I'm excited to see how it ends. Like, I want to see what happens. Like, shit. Some of these people really deserve to die, and they get their
Yes.
just desserts.
Yeah.
And I want to see one specific person get their just desserts.
I
really
wonder who
bad.
that could be.
Oh, let's just keep imagining, because there's only so many black shields out here, man.
Oh
But-
no.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Why you mention
Um,
God of War, though? We'll be coming back to that statement a little bit. We're talking about Final Fantasy.
Yeah.
But, there's just been Final Fantasy Town. That's about it.
Pretty much, man. I've been trying to get a little bit of Legend of Zelda in, but that's falling straight to the wayside. And you know what? I have realized something, though. Like, it's nice to have a 16 come out and have it to be in such stark comparison to, like, what Legend of Zelda is. Because although I feel like Legend of Zelda is a better game overall, it's just fun. Like, it's just a really fun, very explorative, very interactive, like, almost limitless, game. Whereas, Final Fantasy 16 is very grounded. It's very specific. It's a very linear path at the end of the day. And I realized how linear when I jumped on my chocobo and realized I couldn't glide over to the other side of a fucking ravine. I'm like, what is this? But
That's disappointment.
that is disappointment, but it's very nice to just have something that's so concise but still tells a really good story. Because story wise, I would definitely say like 16 is over Legend of Zelda right now for me because I'm not really into the lore.
I don't know
But
if Zelda's ever really had a very strong plot for a game. Like, I'm sure there's been interesting story elements in the games, but I don't really think any of the plots have been that
I think what
phenomenal.
Ocarina and what like Twilight Princess. That probably
Even
the best
Twilight
too.
Princess, it was very like
Oh yeah, it was like
it was light. It wasn't
revolutionary,
a
but it was
main thing of like the whole game, right? Like there
yeah.
were cool cutscenes, there were cool bits with the story and the characters, but like it was light. It wasn't like The Last of Us. It wasn't like Final Fantasy. It wasn't like God of War.
Yeah.
Well, all right, that's cool. Final Fantasy's cool. We've been talking plenty about that. Who's up next on the chopping block? Lerone?
Man, I ain't did nothing but recover from Final Fantasy 16. I beat it last week. Yeah, I'll give you my rating later when we get to that, but
Okay.
I
Final
did
Fantasy
not didn't
down. I expect this much. What about
yeah.
Rodney?
Haven't really been playing too much. I've been sleeping and busy more so than anything.
He been playing that Risk of
Understandable.
Rain. He
Playing
been
that
playing
real life
You know
drama
what?
card.
I wanna go back and play Risk.
They need to get that DLC on there, man. That shit's so sad.
They do, and ever since they got bought by Gearbox, I don't know what the fuck they're doing.
Yeah, Mr. Rain's awesome. If anybody's
I think
listening to
they're
this hasn't played it,
remaking the first one.
that's wild. The
Some
second
shit
one's
like
so much
that.
more fun, but
I think they're gonna make it like the second one.
oh, okay, never mind then. Do that. Please put my DLC in the second game on console. Thank you.
yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so I pretty much do the same shit as everybody else. I'm playing Final Fantasy, beat that. The hell else I played? Diablo, typical shit. Feel like I played something else, but I really can't remember right now. Halo. Oh yeah, I was doing a whole little replay through of the Halo games, but yeah, I love Halo. So that shit was pretty cool. Yeah, I actually managed to get one of our other friends. It was by the name Devon, a legendary hero amongst men.
Who that?
His noob.
I love how you don't know this man's real name.
Bro, I barely know anybody's.
That's true.
Bro.
There was nothing, but he's not Jon Snow.
Curse. What the fuck?
She's my queen. I don't want it. I don't want it. She's my queen.
Halo's awesome. New experiencing Halo. I think he's played them before. I feel like he skipped every cutscene because he acts surprised when every cutscene stuff happens, but pretty
Halo
cool
is hype,
nonetheless.
man.
Halo's
I love
cool.
Halo.
I've never
It's one of
played
the
it.
only regrets that I have with not owning an Xbox.
Hey
is that I
man,
couldn't play
you
Halo.
ever get a
Yeah.
PC? We
War.
can play all that Halo.
Man.
Gears of War was next on the hit list, but Gears of War 2 and 3 isn't on PC because they're douchebags and
Are
don't
you
want to
sure?
do that. Absolutely. It's
I
on the
swear
Game
it's
Pass.
on Game Pass. Yeah, just
Yeah,
get
you
Game
can
Pass.
you can get it on console. You cannot play it on the Game Pass for PC. You can't get it on
Did
Steam or
they
anywhere.
change
It's not
it?
available.
'Cause it-
2 and 3 is
you-
never on there. They had one Ultimate Edition because they remade it, and then they have 4 and 5.
Okay.
But 2, 3, and Judgment, which was a prequel game, never reported, never did anything with it. So you can play that on like console that has backwards compat and that works. Not available on PC unless you use like an emulator or something, which does exist, but I don't know how that works with co-op and stuff. That would be the main reason I want to play it. But
yeah.
that's big sad, you know. Bigger sad that the only 2 games I wanted to play from an Xbox are 20-year-old franchises, so that's fucked up. But
What you mean? You got
Xbox is
Bethesda
also
games coming out
fucking-
soon, man.
Bro, they're on the up and up though.
They are on the
getting
up and up. They're about
Activision,
to-
like they finally finished that shit. I feel like
Yeah.
that's definitely something we gotta.
that was
Actually
shout
doing
out.
next.
with it.
That was next on the program list here. That was the lead-in. So thank you for realizing that, Denzel. Xbox has officially completed their purchasing of Activision Blizzard. So I mean that means pretty much big rip to PlayStation, I guess. PlayStation apparently signed a 10-year deal. Who knows? God knows how much money for Call of Duty to stay on their console. That's big sad, but you know, hopefully
Wait, I
Call of
thought-
Duty dies at some point.
I mean, I feel like at this point, you make more money, like, especially with the budget that these companies are putting into games. I feel like a lot of them can't afford solo, you know what I'm saying, solo.
Well, yeah,
console.
the
They
problem
kinda
is with
have to be
that.
multi-
The problem is with that is that Call of Duty makes so much money. It doesn't matter. Xbox also has it makes the money that Call of Duty makes look like chump change or Microsoft.
Yeah.
Right? So they can easily afford to buy them out and pay for the cost that would incur to Activision without batting an eye. Maybe not without batting an eye, but it's not that big of a deal.
They're willing to take the loss.
They're willing to take it easy, especially if it means Call of Duty is no longer having PlayStation exclusive stuff, blah, 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 which I'm sure they won't. They will never get that for another 10 years.
Oof.
They'll be all on Xbox, and I'm sure that will single-handedly pretty much make Xbox the victor of another console war, but...
Well, you think it'll be this console generation or next? Because
No,
I still don't think they're
console
coming
is already
back.
over. Yeah, I think this one.
Yeah, I don't think they're coming back this time. But going into next time, Jay?
Next one, they could
Well, with
definitely.
the Xbox 3.2 over 5
Especially
days,
if they have
Bro, these
that- yeah.
dumbass names, though, bro.
They
I
need
don't know
to
what's wrong
fucking.
with
They're
these
clowns.
motherfuckers.
Like I don't
Bro.
even know. We went from the 360 to the Series X. I don't know what else happened in between there. I
Oh,
think
Xbox
something happened.
One.
The
Then,
Xbox
no, they did
One.
the one. Then they did the Xbox One S. Then they did the Xbox One X. Then they did the Xbox Series X. Then they hit the Xbox Series X. This is dumb.
I'm gonna be
Dumb
real
as
with you.
fuck.
I don't even know what the name of the new one is. To be honest with you, the
It's
one,
the
the one for
Series
PS5. Is it?
They all
Okay.
they all
Yeah,
run
it's the
together.
Series X. Xbox Series X. It's dumb. It's
I
dumb as
legitimately
fuck.
forgot the Xbox One even existed.
The VCR.
The Xbox?
Yeah,
I mean, the
Completely
new one
forgot
looked like
they
a mini
existed.
fridge, so I guess
I thought the Series X was the same thing.
Damn.
Nope. There's a Series X Xbox One and there's a normal Series X. Dumb as fuck.
They
They should have went 720, whatever
And then
came after
1080.
720,
Yeah,
1080,
1080 and then 4K,
1440.
1440p, 4K.
That would be even more
God.
confusing. That'd be terrible.
It would be, but
They was just
They
they
had
had
this would make
Xbox 3.
sense.
no, they had the chance to reset it with the
fourth box of
Xbox
X.
One. They had the
They could've-
opportunity.
Xbox
Yeah,
One
they
is a
could've did
terrible
Xbox
name,
2.
dude.
But I know,
It
but
was
it's still
the
better
one
than what we got,
device,
though.
bro.
And what is the original? Is this called the OG Xbox?
This is called the Xbox.
the Xbox One. Like that's so trash, bro.
I know,
Should've
but
been the
it's better than what we
Xbox
got.
Zero.
The easy way.
It'd been the prequel Xbox.
Yes.
It
All
plays
you think
Nintendo
you play on that
64
Kung?
games.
You gonna play Kung? What was it the game called? Kung Fu Fury? Was that the name of the game?
A Kung
Oh,
Fu Fury was
Xbox?
like a movie, wasn't it?
That
I
was
don't even know.
that was
Kung
Kung
Fury.
Fury.
Fury,
That
was
yeah,
Kung
that was a
Fury.
movie.
Yeah,
I think that was an old Xbox game too, though.
I don't know. The only Xbox 360 game that matters was fucking Sneak King, bro. That's it.
Yes.
Best game ever.
Best
Sneak King,
game.
bro.
Sneak King. If you don't have 1,000 gamer score in Sneak King or
Kung
whatever
Fu
the max
Chaos.
was, you're
Oh,
not a real
cap.
gamer.
Nah,
1,000
brother.
gamer scores.
Couldn't
Yeah.
do it, brother.
If you're not a Sneak King gamer, you don't deserve to pick up a controller ever again. You need to
Wow,
go back.
you're
I have
wild.
always
to
go
wanted
back.
to sneak
You-
onto
sneaking
construction
was
sites
crazy,
and slip
G.
whoppers into people's pockets.
That's what I'm talking about. When you think of
Bro,
gaming,
you
I'm
need
thinking
to
of
reevaluate
delivering
your
that
dreams,
juicy,
my
meaty
friend.
justice, bro. That's what I'm talking
Yeah.
about.
I'ma slip this beef into your pants.
Oh no, brother.
I'm
Hey,
sorry.
yo, is that what Buddy said to Tom Holland or what, bro?
Hey, yo, chill.
Bro.
That shit nasty.
What the fuck going on?
I don't know. You guys are wild, but I'm just trying to
That's
get
him.
my meat into people's
Oh,
pants,
meat?
bro. That's all I'm trying to do.
Yo.
Bro,
just trying to
just
deliver the
me,
meat.
Oh,
Trying
my
to sneak.
God. Just trying to
Yeah.
sneak and
Trying
deliver the meat.
to sneak this
Hey,
meat.
yo.
You know what I'm
I'm
saying?
sneaking, bro.
Everybody gotta eat. Bars.
Bro.
Bars, That just means
Yo.
because Xbox has that power now, we're gonna see even less games on PlayStation. Starfield's
I mean,
already going
shit.
exclusive, but there's the Diablo's gonna go bye-bye. Not that it's not gonna be another Diablo game in fucking God knows how many years, but
I mean,
I would
shit,
say
we was
10
lucky
minimum.
PlayStation got
Yeah.
Diablo. Like, this
Yeah.
is...
Pretty
Honestly,
lucky.
I hope
This
Sony
situation is
doubles
bad.
down on all of their like God of War and freaking Ratchet and Clank and
Yeah.
Spider. I hope they go all in since
I hope they don't
Xbox
even
is
put on
doing
PC
this.
anymore. Just they fuck them.
I
Bro.
hope they just go hard, like Bloodborne 2. You know what I'm saying? Like all.
I
good
mean,
They
it's
have
really
to. They
sad
don't have
that
a choice.
Xbox can just throw money around and still be a threat after how many good games PlayStation has made. Like,
It's not about games at this point.
I
It's
know,
about,
and it's really
about
messed up.
how popular this shit is. Because think about it, 2K, FIFA, now whatever, World Soccer, I don't know what the name of it is now. They just got bought.
Madden.
They just lost it.
sports games.
Madden, like, yeah. I mean, Call of Duty is right up there with fucking those. and the other mainstay of the gaming world, GTA 5. People don't care if it's like new, people don't care like how much it is like the old ones. If that's the popular game, that's what motherfuckers are playing. And Final Fantasy 16 will never be as popular as a Call of Duty. It's impossible. So this is a big blow, man. Sony's hurting after this one, man. It's concerning, low key, because
we'll see how it goes. I'm kind of curious how this is going to unfold and how the landscape is going to change because of it.
It's going to be an uphill battle. I'm not even going to lie to you. I'm surprised this shit went through because this actually is like approaching like monopoly levels of control over the gaming industry. Because like Blizzard and Activision, like they run some of the biggest games known to man that everybody knows about. Diablo. Even if they never played it, motherfuckers have heard of that shit before. Everybody knows about Call of Duty. Everybody knows about
it's really cool.
World of Warcraft.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, it is, but these are also these are.
There's other big franchises, but I don't think Diablo's ever been like it's a known quantity, but I don't think it's ever actually made that much money.
It's not even about that though, because now they have the marketing rights to it, so that they know that diehard like fan base is coming, even if it doesn't like pay off for itself initially. Like Diablo is gonna be a fucking exclusive, bro. Starfield is an exclusive. Like this wasn't even like a thought like a couple years ago. Like we always thought that Diablo would be like everywhere and shit, you know?
I just forget I get on PC.
I think Starfield is going to be very lucky for Sony because I don't think that game's going to do well.
I mean, we gotta see, man. It's gonna tell.
The whole last episode is me ragging on it, so I'm not gonna continue to rag on it. But I think that game's good shit, and I hope the best for them. But yeah, Activision is a bitch. That company is a bunch of hoes. God bless them.
Oh no.
I mean,
moving on.
Yeah, we need to keep that same energy we had before this whole conversation came up. Fuck Activision, bro. They're monsters.
I mean, yeah, every company is a monster at the end of the day. But
yeah, but I don't know, bro. I remember
the screw them in particular. That's crazy.
Bro.
He said even amongst monsters, they're the biggest monster.
Oh, they're definitely a titan of the beast.
Wasn't there? Didn't they have like the Bill Cosby room or whatever? Like
that was Blizzard.
No,
Activision Blizzard, yeah. Well,
yeah, but that was more Blizzard's part, I think.
Okay.
The Cosby Suite?
Yeah, the Cosby Suite.
That's still wow.
A legendary occurrence in video game history where video game developers had a fucking like I don't even know what was going on in that room, and I honestly don't want to know what's going on in that room.
Definitely don't. It was something
was going on enough for a chick to commit, suicide. So
yeah, it's not.
That shit is
not good. Not good.
But people just don't remember it. I mean,
people remember it.
No, they don't remember it.
This money talks. How much money they just give to Blizzard to buy them? They don't give a fuck.
It's like 78 billion or something, almost 80 billion.
Don't give a fuck. Doesn't matter.
Too much
suicide,
money involved,
absolute annihilation. No, I mean that's how it works in modern times. Like I feel like if this was 30 years ago, Blizzard would have went out of business for having that shit come out. Like maybe not.
Yeah.
Maybe not.
I don't know. Once you get enough money where you can investigate yourself and find yourself not guilty, you're fucked. Yeah. Everyone else is fucked. It don't matter. They could commit a mass genocide. No one would give a fuck.
I mean, you're not necessarily wrong, but there will be some people that rise up.
I mean, of course, but it won't be. Will it be enough?
It won't be the majority for sure. It definitely is not being the majority.
Still gonna buy Call of Duty every year. People are gonna buy Blizzard products every year. It's not gonna change.
We just need to get the right slogans out there, right? We just need to associate Call of Duty with some negative terminology. That's how we do it.
No.
But
I don't know.
I mean,
there's a lot of negativity around Call of Duty.
I mean, like actual, like, oh, you buy Call of Duty, that means you're a blank and not a blank.
I can think of one word.
I know what you're thinking of, but that's not what I'm talking about. I turn you into fucking Sylvester real quick.
It's great.
Alright, I mean, moving on the story list over here. We have A big sad one. This is kind of a smaller story, but I thought this was interesting. Hold on. All right, the police had to go arrest somebody outside, but
Hey,
Yes.
yo. That new
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, we in the trenches.
Payday 3 is apparently going to be online only, and people are very upset about that. I know Payday 3 is a smaller game, smaller title, but we did spend a decent amount of time playing the second
We
one.
spent a lot of time playing.
Yeah, that shit was fun though, low key. I remember
Mhm.
they used to send a lot of weight. It was fun
when you
because we were
say-
playing it together. I'll say it like that.
That's
Yeah.
definitely a game you got to play with friends.
Payday
Yeah,
2
I'm not
still
playing
gets
it was
paid
hard as
today.
shit.
Payday 1 still gets paid a little bit, but Payday 3 being online only, people are basically saying, yeah, the game, you put a game online only, it's got a death sentence. That's just how it
Yeah.
works. But,
I mean, shit. I mean, does that affect us? Do you guys
I feel
hate
like
being
putting
online? I feel like I'm
anything-
always online.
online, I absolutely, there's no reason for it other than you think your game is worth more than people's time, pretty much. Like,
I mean, like, I feel like I wouldn't care as much, but sometimes the internet be
it's a
Acting
step
up.
to try to curb, like, cheating, I think is the number one reason for it.
I mean,
Because
but it's a co-op game. Who
Yeah,
the
that
fuck
shit
cares?
does not
that's the
matter.
thing, right? Like, no one cares. You know who cares?
Oh,
The
it's
like,
people
greed. It's
them
greed
when
for
they're
sure.
selling you microtransactions to increase your
Yeah,
progression.
I see the
That's why it
problem,
matters
man.
now.
That's
Yeah.
bullshit.
Like,
I don't think
freaking,
they've
what
ever
was it,
done
Mass
anything
Effect
like that.
3, when they started
Effect
nerfing
3.
characters? Like, why are you nerfing characters when it's a
I
co-op game?
I
And
don't
then they
know why
rescinded
Mass
that
Effect. They
anyway.
rescinded it and then they put out
Yeah.
characters more broken than any of them, any of the stuff they had.
Yeah.
It's like they don't realize that people just
That
wanna
was
play
the
the game and have
first.
fun,
That was like the
you know?
first big game that did stuff like that. Like, and they,
That's what
I think
made
they
me stop playing
realized
that shit.
they realized what they were doing toward the end of it, but it kind of opened Pandora's box for a lot of other games. Realized what they can get away with.
Fucking
Yeah,
Borderlands. Just balance these characters.
Borderlands
Why?
makes no sense because Borderlands never.
why?
They never even had stuff you could buy to like make it easier or anything like that. Like it was completely pointless to do that. And the whole franchise of Borderlands, I felt like, was made just to like be goofy, and being brokenly overpowered is like part of that.
Yeah.
It was very strange.
True.
Hmm.
Another thing we got going on in the news. Well, I mean, there's a lot of stuff coming out, and I think we need to talk about that. This is probably the greatest summer in video game history,
Low-key.
probably forever. I don't know if a long time ago a lot of stuff
Yeah,
came
this
out,
summer is
but
packed, yeah.
this summer is going crazy, bro.
Haymakers.
Yeah, like
Haymakers, bro.
big games coming out like weeks after each other, which is like unheard of for the summer. I'm assuming this is because of the like push back, the bounce back from COVID happening.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
gotta be.
So like everything's just coming out. Like we had, what the hell was that game called? The Russian BioShock Atomic Heart, I believe it was called. That came out at the beginning of the year. You had Resident Evil 4 remake, Dead Space remake, the Hogwarts game.
Yes, sir.
I don't even know. I think a Destiny expansion came out.
Jedi Survivor.
Jedi Survivor.
Final
My memory's
Fantasy
so
16.
bad. Final Fantasy 16, a game we're going to be
Diablo
talking about a
4.
lot. Diablo 4. And then in the future of the time of this podcast, we're going to get Remnant 2. We just got Exo Primal. Not that's a giant game, but another release nonetheless.
It came out?
It did come out. No one
That's like
watches it.
5,000 people
It's
watching
not.
it.
It's going about as well as I expected for Exo Primal. We can get into that a little bit too.
Funny.
Remnant 2 is coming out like in a couple days. Diablo's kicking off its seasonal thing in a couple days. Something else comes out I can't think of. Next month?
I'm not even sure.
I don't know. Alan Wake 2 comes out in October. Lords of the Fallen but good edition is coming out. There's a lot. Okay, there's a lot of stuff.
Assassin's Creed Mirage is coming out this year.
There's so many games. It's disgusting, but it's kind of awesome. And I haven't felt like something like this has happened for a very long time. Like I feel like we've been getting drip fed.
And you even forgot a really
Core
important
6,
one.
bro. That's what I was
Street
thinking about
Fighter
August.
6.
Street Fighter 6 came out. Oh my god. And it's actually good this time. Holy shit.
Yeah, like it's crazy, for real. Like
Starfield, that game's gonna be super good, and I can't wait to play it. And
Hey man, why that game pop
I
off,
think the
G?
Super Bomberman game is coming out low key too.
Oh my
crazy.
God.
Really?
Yeah.
Hey, yo.
I think it's like a remake of one of them. That's kind of nuts.
Ew. You know what came out too?
What?
Forspoken came out this
Spoken,
year.
a legendary release.
It was
Oh
supposed
my
to be. It
goodness.
was definitely a big push for it, but yeah, that was a flop.
Oh, and I can't forget, what's going to be Game of the Year, I hope, if there's any hope left on the planet, Baldur's Gate 3 is coming out on August 3rd, and I think it's coming out on PlayStation September 4th or something like that.
Yes, I believe so.
Let's just talk about Baldur's Gate real quick, because this game has been in development for, I think, 6 years, they said, because of COVID. And there's a whole little news fiasco going on about that, where a bunch of people were talking about how don't expect this to be the new generalization of RPGs, because they're like an anomaly of how much time they've had, how much money they have going behind it, how much experience they have in the genre beforehand. And that's true, 100%. It's definitely mostly, I think, the experience behind the people, because they're pretty much just making a sequel to the types of games they made before, which were spiritual successors to the original Baldur's Gate, which is kind of funny. But I don't expect games to be as good as Baldur's Gate. I just expect games to be good. I think Baldur's Gate 3, obviously, like, if you've seen Conversations, like, alone, like, they put every Mass Effect game to shame with their fucking facial animation.
It feel like the height of, like, Mass Effect. I love Mass Effect.
Yeah.
It made me feel like I was gonna play Mass Effect all over.
Like, Dragon Age... Dragon Age... I don't know if Dragon Age is better or worse. It looked better than all
the
of them.
Inquisition.
Yeah, they were all they were all good, but
it was pretty good.
This looks like this should have been BioWare's next game. Like, the fact that Lerone is now BioWare is kind of crazy how that happened, because BioWare doesn't make games and is basically dead, and Lerone is like, yo, we're gonna make your games now since you guys are like weird making fucking looter shooters or some shit.
Hey, as long as somebody picks up the mantle,
I'm glad somebody's here, dude. I'm glad somebody's willing to go out and make a fucking gay bear sex scene and put it online. God bless.
That's wild.
That's what I'm talking about, man. That's some progression in politics. We need movements like that, but
we need more gay bear sex scenes.
Absolutely. And on top of that, we need more insanely good RPGs made by people who actually really care what they're doing. Because I haven't played a game that's like this and been this excited for since like Wasteland 3, which was also made by people who used to make games like this. And that was low budget. That was like low scale. And this is like, what if we gave you 10 times the money and twice as long to make it? And it's like, yeah, it looks like this. It looks like the craziest, most in-depth RPG game you've ever played in your life. That's nuts.
Yeah.
Cinematic presentation's on point. The story is super interesting. The combat's super fun for a fucking turn-based RPG in 2023. It's like super interesting and dynamic, depending what happens. It's fully co-op.
Turn-based?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, let me see what this is hitting for, bro. It's been off my radar.
It's gonna be Game of the Year, and you should play it 100%. If it's not Game of the Year, people are dumb. Like, there's a ton of good games that came out this year. This is Game of the Year. Like,
hey, look, man, you already know the.
You say that, but you know Starfield about to win, right?
Bro.
If the only game I could see it losing to is the Zelda game, just because it's a Zelda game.
Zelda's probably gonna win that shit, low key.
Look. Here's my thing, right? The game looks good, right? I'm not gonna say it doesn't. It's just for everything I've seen, the game just looks more of an expansion, really. Though it doesn't feel like a sequel.
I mean, so I believe that it started off as an expansion, but they had so much new stuff that they just decided to make a second game. But I'll say this as somebody that played both of them. This definitely does feel like Breath of the Wild, but it feels way better. And I feel like we've kind of become jaded in the sense that, everybody wants a second game to be so different from the first one. Well, we were never going to get that. It's mainly the story.
You gotta understand though, that's not necessarily true because Witcher 1 off of DLC.
No, I feel you. I mean, but you can't compare it to The Witcher, right? Because we can agree that The Witcher is a better story-driven game. Like Legend of Zelda.
Is it a better game though?
Yep.
It depending on who you talk to. Depends on who you talk to.
I don't think anyone was playing The Witcher for the gameplay.
Yeah.
I mean, they're playing for the story. So, does it have a better story? Yes. Is it a better game overall? That's
Probably
where
not.
it depends.
Probably
That's where
not.
it depends. But I would say that the new one definitely does improve enough that it's like a brand new experience. Because like being able to fuse weapons, that shit's sick. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, it changes like the basic. It makes the fact that you had to always break your shit in the first game so much better because you're killing enemies that give you stuff to make the good weapons anyway. So now it's not as detrimental to lose a good weapon because you can make another good weapon as long as you killed the enemy. Like pretty much 100% of the time. So it's like little stuff like that really adds up, and like being able to make electric circuits and build mechs and shit, you can't bruh. That shit's crazy. Motherfuckers have goddamn Terminators running around in Legend of Zelda. Who would have thought? Unmodded.
I saw somebody with a lowrider.
Bro, you can basically make anything. And like that alone, being able to put a system like that into a game and it works, bruh. That alone.
Yeah,
is
Minecraft
crazy.
is pretty cool, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's basically Legend of Zelda plus Minecraft plus brand new Legend of Zelda ideas.
See, I respect the fact that the game is there. Like, would I play it? Maybe. Like Minecraft, I'll never go back to. It's not my thing. But I do respect all the things that the people have made in Minecraft. Like, people have made whole solar systems.
Yeah, it's a very creative tool. I mean, honestly, they should make a Minecraft engine for people. Like, I don't know, maybe they're doing it inside the game, but the things that they create are really at a different level. I mean, I could never see myself giving Minecraft that much time to build a city, more or less a fucking monument or a goddamn fucking solar system. Crazy.
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely shown tremendous popularity, but for me personally, I've never bought a game with a desire to want to make something in it. I know, like, maybe I'm just really just off here. Maybe I'm not in tune with a lot of people want.
Like, the most I'll make is a created character, so I can make it canon. And other than that, like, I don't want to make the game. I want you to make it, and I just want to be.
Yeah, I want to experience things you that
like when
made.
You buy a book, you don't buy an empty book to write your story. You buy it to read someone else's.
That's a
notebook, right, Rodney?
Like that's
what's up?
This is a notebook.
I mean, a notebook. You write notes. You ain't writing no story.
You could write a story.
Yeah, but how many people write stories in fucking notes?
I know two of them
sitting
in this conversation right now.
It's not a notebook. It's a fucking actual. Shut up.
No, it's a notebook, bro. What are you? Hey, yo.
Shut y'all asses up. Y'all know what I mean.
Get this man.
I do think that
of course, there are outliers to that.
Fallout's doing the same thing with the settlements. Starfield's doing the same thing with the settlements.
Oh my god!
A lot of big games are adding a creation to it. I just hope it doesn't take away from the parts of the game that people wanted to play in the first place. Which I think in Fallout's case, Fallout 4's case, it completely ruined that game, made it boring as fuck and have nothing in it. And I'm sure the same will be true for Starfield. There's some other game that added this stuff in it too. I don't remember. You're saying Zelda had a lot of stuff in it, though, right on top of that, right? Like, it's not just build shit.
Yeah,
it's Breath of the Wild has like the map is fucking huge. Like you got sit in the sky, you got the ground area, then you underground like tunnel system.
Yeah, so
it's a very big game.
As long as there's content there, it's fine to have it. I just hope it doesn't take away from the other stuff.
I mean, I'll tell you guys this too, right? I kind of agree with you. I do prefer, like, I feel like that's kind of why I like 16 more than Zelda, because I just want something that's already pre-made for me so I can experience it, you know?
Yeah.
But for sure, the best that I appreciate is like Assassin's Creed type, Brotherhood type stuff, right? Where you're not like making, or even like Mass Effect 3 like loyalty missions. I think that's better. Like you're building a bond with the people and they basically give you a better product in that character, you know what I'm saying? Um I definitely appreciate that a lot more than having to create everything from the ground up. Like you can add extra stuff like that, but just make it a little bit more, driven or like
Yeah,
self-driven,
I
I
think
should
those are
say.
completely different things, though. I don't think it's like if in Mass Effect you had to make a crew member or some shit, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just saying I'd rather they focus on stuff like that instead of doing such a big, world. Because I feel like we're suffering from everything is open world now.
Anything
Because
nothing in it.
yeah, like it doesn't always have to be an open world. You can put those efforts into other things that people want to be creative with.
Yeah.
Like, add more like interesting side quests, but like don't make the fucking world gigantic every single time if you're not gonna feel it. Like, yeah, that's one thing I'll even say about Witcher 3. Even though I never beat it, everybody hates me. I understand.
What? Oh
I
no, get
never
the thing
beat
out the
it.
chat.
Yeah. I will say it was always something happening in that open world, so it never felt like it was just like desolate. Like there was always like hidden treasure or random fucking gang or some shit.
Those points of
Similar to like,
interest on that damn map, bro.
yeah,
Oh,
similar to like Red Dead Redemption 2.
Oh
Like,
that
my
burning house,
god.
James. Remember that?
I'll never forget. In The Witcher 3, I was watching Lerone here play this, and
mm,
it was just some random event, I guess, that could happen if you go back to an area you visited previously. And it's just like a house being burned down. There's a bunch of dudes outside of it, and you're like, what the fuck? Gets off his
mm,
horse, gets into a conversation with the guys. They're like, yeah, we're burning a witch or some shit. We're gonna kill her.
mm.
And like, you helped the lady in there before. So like, he goes in, rescues her. And they're like, why the fuck you do that? You're a fucking daft asshole. And then he gets into a fight with them in the middle of the rain while it's fire in the background. This lady's been
Right?
saved and the music's playing. I'm like, holy shit, this is so cool. It's some random thing I never saw before.
Mm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that was sick.
that's great. You know,
Yeah, it's great. It had a lot of cool moments like that. No,
And
no
that-
moments when I was sitting in a menu trying to build a settlement, trying to make a number go up.
Yeah, you got to be able to care more.
Yeah, I mean, that kind of would
that
have been
was,
cool. Because
I
it's at a
mean, it
specific
depends.
place, and if it actually affected something you did, like, it has to have meaning within the world. Like, it can't just be like, alright, there's nothing on this planet, make something. Okay, what does it do? Nothing. It's completely fucking pointless to any story. It's just like, numbers are moving around. I don't
Mm.
care about fucking numbers, dude. I don't even want to interact with that. Like, fuck you. If it was like, you need to make, here's this place, here's this location with these characters, and they're in need of defenses, make the defenses, and stop whoever the bad guys are from killing them, and depending on how strong you made the defenses, it actually affects it, that's different. Because there is stuff there. I think games too easy go for the play Legos in our video game.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't care about Legos. Never have.
it should be nothing more than a mini game at best.
Yeah.
Sometimes, like, because it's cool to have the option to do it. Like they add little mini games like that all the time. Like I remember the first time they had some shit like that was like you could build your little house in like Pokemon Ruby or some shit, like your underground base. I ain't never
Sure.
give no fuck about filling that bitch up, bro.
I never did.
Oh, I forgot about that. That's
I
crazy.
never wanted to do it because it was like, what the fuck is the point? Like, it's cool that you can do it, but I'm like, for what? You know what I mean? Like, so I feel like it's a kind of similar feeling to now when they added all this other shit. Like, it's there, but cool. It shouldn't be. I shouldn't be forced to do it, I guess.
No.
Yeah, that shit funny as fuck.
Honestly, I totally forgot about. They did. It was just that empty ass warehouse. It was like, yeah, you
Yeah.
can put shit in here. I'm like, I don't care.
Bro,
Yeah.
like,
Oh yes.
yo, it's a cool concept though. Thank you,
I
but
mean, yeah, like I respect the fact that you added it, but I have no need, will do
Yeah.
anything.
100%. But yeah, that happened. Baldur's Gate 3 is gonna be the GOAT. What do you guys feel about the idea that people are salty that they want every game to be like that, that quality?
Look,
what
at the end of the day, it's going to be the consumer's decision on that. Like you can say this is unfair, whatever, but at the end of the day, if that's what the customer wants and they're driving the market, then you gotta
That's it.
keep up or die. Like that's
They
what.
said about
mean,
microtransactions, and here we are.
sometimes it's not
Yeah.
about keeping up though, man.
Like
Like,
honestly, if
it's-
everything does not have to be Baldur's Gate level.
Exactly. You just have to not
But,
suck like Infamous said, but it's
yeah,
just like
exactly. Yeah, as long as it's
at the
good,
end of
you
the
can tell
day,
a
though.
compelling story with a quarter of the budget. You don't need, and a quarter of the time. Like you don't need all of that to make a good game. Companies are feeling some type of way because they know the shit that they make is trash, and somebody's coming out with something amazing, and they want to taper people's expectations.
Like I heard a good example, right? It's like you look at all these games that have like let's put any online games like that's competitive. Like you can have not like co-op, but like actual like other people you can play against.
Yeah.
Every day one launch, the server is always too small, queue times always too long, shit always be crashing, right?
That's because they
No
don't
one-
expect the number
Yeah.
of people who are actually buying their shit. But
Yeah, and no company seems to ever do that. And we all know it exists, we all hate it, we all expect it, right? But the second one or two just nail it off the rip, like that's not a problem at all. People gonna stop tolerating it. Like just straight up. Like,
yeah, but we need
Like-
more people, man. Everybody got to change their mind about how they look at the shit. Like,
Yeah.
man, it'd be. I've wanted to do that shit so many times, like, because I used to feel like Call of Duty was going down the wrong path, and it definitely went down the wrong path for me. But if everybody else gonna buy that shit, it's like, what the fuck am I supposed to do? Like,
Yeah.
you know, you just gotta wait. Sometimes you just gotta wait for that shit to get better, and this time it might not. So,
Not getting better. Absolutely.
yeah,
I played many a game that took 4 and 5 and 6 months just to become playable. I'm over that shit.
That's
They can miss me with that.
bro. That's why I don't even be buying shit first day no more, bro. I gotta
Smart.
make sure that shit
Yeah,
works.
pre-ordering and doing shit like that is such a fool's errand in today's world. Like it's crazy.
Yeah, it's literally a relic that is
Buying the car before you see it.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
You have to be like straight up like super collector, diehard fan of the IP in order to even come
Yeah,
close
you
to
gotta
understanding
really,
it.
you gotta
or they
pick
just
and
give
You
you
choose.
really
some
want
extra
that,
shit.
yeah.
Like the extra shit does get niggas in. Cause I did pre-order it just to get the 16 is the last game I pre-ordered. I was like, shit, I want this
What
little
was the
sword
last
or
game you
whatever.
pre-ordered before 16?
Shit, I don't even know, bro.
Exactly.
Like real talk, I just trusted that shit was gonna work. But yeah, I definitely been
I feel
burning.
like Square Enix is one of the better companies as far as a game working at launch. Like I don't think I've ever a Square Enix game that just outright didn't work.
Yeah, there's not a lot of buggy Final Fantasies, right?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
MMOs,
was-
not
Was
talking about
Origin smooth?
MMOs, but
I know that's a mean game, but was Origin
One?
smooth too? Origin. Final
Origin.
Fantasy.
Yeah, that wasn't made by Square Enix though.
Oh shit.
That was basically just Neo, made by the Neo guys with Final Fantasy stuff in it. It might have had performance problems, but like that's not even the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the only games I pre-ordered were games I wanted the collector's edition of, and I honestly thought of the games as secondary to the collector's edition stuff. Like, oh, it's cool, I get that, but I just really want this. I don't really care. I haven't
Get
pre-ordered anything
that
in a while.
power armor helmet. Remember that fiasco?
Oh, from fucking 76. I still
the
want
one
that
that
one.
had
I'm not gonna
mold in it
lie.
and everything.
It was so bogus, bro. It was like plastic.
Well, plastic molded. The bag wasn't good. That shit was crazy.
I mean,
Yeah.
they also not giving games in these collector's editions too.
I think they do that now, so you can like buy them separately from each other if you want to buy the Deluxe
Didn't they
edition for
do
cheaper.
that with Diablo?
Yeah, it was like that for Diablo.
Hey, look, man. I mean, even that is just strange because it's like I'm gonna pay $200+ and I don't get the game, but I get a steelbook for it. Come on, bro. Like,
I mean, hey, let's be. People are stupid, and people want what they want. Like these are the people who are driving this. People who are stupid and the people who. Sometimes it's the same thing. Sometimes it's not. But if you got the money, people will buy what they want to buy, regardless of if it's a sound purchase or not.
Yeah. You ain't lied about that one.
It's sad because
That's the truth.
every time they make that purchase, shit is getting worse. But obviously, like I said, if you dumb, you ain't thinking that far ahead. Shit, you ain't thinking at all, to be completely honest.
Funny as well.
But yeah, it sad to say.
Yup. All right.
It is
So,
what it is.
in terms of news, there's some other stuff, but fuck that whack shit. Unless you guys want to talk about, I mean, we already talked about Persona's getting a bunch of remakes and games and shit. We don't really know what they are.
Ooh, wait.
Yes, sir.
It's a good time to be a Persona fan. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Persona's coming out, making tons of money, I'm sure.
Moves, baby.
Yeah.
I think Persona really has an opportunity to blow up in popularity right now. Like, especially with they're on Game Pass now, I think. I know they're at least on Xbox, so shit.
Yeah.
It's really one of the best Japanese RPGs that still exist.
Yeah.
And like our true RPG. Like, you gotta
hasn't really
respect
changed
that.
too much from the originals for sure. It still holds its audience. It's pretty hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Only other news thing I kind of want to talk about was talk about that new Star Wars game from Ubisoft. They went out of the way to say that planet sizes would be equivalent to about 2 to 3 zones in Assassin's Creed Odyssey. And I don't know you guys didn't play that, but like,
Yeah.
they're pretty big. Like, that's pretty similar to like old Assassin's Creed maps, I'd say, depending on what the zones were. But the number one thing they said is gonna be all handcrafted stuff. It's not gonna be any procedural generation.
Really?
I know they used heavily in those Assassin's Creed games for like quests and stuff. And,
That's interesting.
and yeah, I was like, that's cool. Ubisoft maybe has gotten their head out of their ass.
We'll see.
Realized they could make really good games, because I remember a time where every Ubisoft game that came out got me excited because it looked fucking incredible, had amazing animation, and usually pretty good storylines associated with them.
I feel
So
like
I hope
if
they get
anything,
back
they
there.
stuck it out just enough to actually take a breath.
Yeah.
The head is still in their ass.
Maybe.
It's very possible, but I
mean, I'm a
don't
pessimist,
know.
cynic, so you know.
That's
I'm
fair.
hoping, but I mean, you deal with what people show you. You showed me the same shit for 20 years. Why the fuck were you capable of anything? All of a sudden.
You remember that they had it in them at one point, so you just like, yeah.
Yeah, but nah. Clock is right twice a day, my guy.
Hey, look, man. I'm gonna say this: Star Wars is a hit right now. All right. I mean, even though people are getting tired of it, but it's still it's tailing off at the worst. If they put out a good Star Wars game, people are gonna play it. Like, people are gonna play it, you know, especially off the success of Jedi Survivor. Most people are gonna think they're connected, but you know, they're obviously not. But at the end of the day, if this is good, this might be a return to form for Ubisoft. You see, they're trying to make something different with the old Assassin's Creed formula. You know, instead of going more into this RPG-driven idea that they had. that I really didn't care for too much. They're going back to the old ways, so it might be a return to firm. We gonna see. I mean, what comes out first? Assassin's Creed or the Star Wars game?
Assassin's Creed, I'm pretty sure. I don't think Star Wars game comes out this year.
Yeah, probably not because they didn't show that much. Did they show any gameplay?
Yes, they showed a whole demo.
Yeah,
It looked good. I thought it looked pretty good. Graphically, it's very impressive. I don't know how much the gameplay is going to evolve because it's like a generic third-person shooter, but like sneaking elements and stuff. But like, I like those games. I don't think they need to be that weird. But the characters look good. They're really good design, strong designs, excellent voice acting. Some minor choice in the story. Look good.
Hoping it's good. I like Star Wars, but
I'm not expecting a KOTOR, but something halfway decent out of.
If it's just a solid game,
yeah.
I ain't gotten solid from Ubisoft in quite a long time, so it's a step in the right direction.
Yep.
Yeah, for sure.
Alright, that's pretty much all the news I wanted to cover, so let's get into the meat. Final Fantasy 16 is a game we have played.
Ooh.
Me and Lerone here are beating it. Denzel, you said you're about 26 hours in, I believe?
Yeah, I just got Titan not so long ago, so.
Alright.
Around the half-ish point.
I don't
Rodney,
know
what were you up to?
but I'm enjoying it.
What was the last thing you did?
We traveled to... I forget where the volcano place is.
Okay,
with Jill?
Yeah.
Yeah, alright. So... where to start?
Should we start off with the rating? Are you try to explain it?
We can start off with our personal reviews, I guess. You should go first, Lerone. Hit me with your best shot.
Alright, so I'm just gonna start off the best, saying this is 7.5 out of 10 for me. The music is great,
Solid.
The characters are good, the story is great, and the combat is good. The only issue is it feels like I'm playing an MMO sometimes, for better or for worse. And in that sense, it's like they have really well written main story quests, right? Phenomenal quests. And they have really well written side quests. The issue is them together though. The pacing between your side quests and your main story is kind of ridiculous. Like you will be in the middle of the second to last mission in the game. They tell you, okay, we gotta go stop the big bad. We can't waste any time, and then drop. I'm not even kidding you. 6 hours of side quests in front of you. Then
big fucking sad, dude.
Big sad. And the real bad part is, I know people were complaining that this game didn't really have party members, which is fine. You have people that follow you, but I'm being honest with you, they don't do no damage. They're literally just there for flavor. They have no impact on your gameplay, to be honest with you.
Kingdom Hearts
they do decent damage, but they only kill like one enemy at most in a fight. At most.
So that's no damage. You fight you're fighting like 50 people.
Yeah,
and they do nothing to the bosses. They actually matter. They do nothing.
Really?
Like I said, it's Kingdom Hearts.
No, because they got a hill.
The dog's heal literally doesn't do shit.
I can't believe the dog has a heal as a button, dude. It does like 12 heal, like 12 HP. Like what?
I don't even hit the buttons.
So crazy.
I want to heal. I use a potion.
I used to use the necklace, but I got rid of that shit.
I did too. The dog didn't matter.
That is a trap, bro.
Yeah, it was.
I was using like in the gameplay. I was trying to do like sick dog combos, and yeah, they're cool. They're sick. But I'm doing it to a jobber, and I could do it by myself pretty much just as easy. Like he doesn't add enough to the gameplay.
Not at all.
He should have been automatic like that anyway. Like it should have just been
automatic anyway. Yeah.
And then like you could if you wanted to do like more powerful attacks, you take direct control of them and shit.
Like, yeah, like Dragon's Dogma, how they'll set you up. The AI will set you up for like combos and stuff, depending on which part.
Out of all the characters that tag along, at least make the dog do something. The dog is actually putting in work, which is kind of crazy that he did nothing either.
Yeah,
and then on top of that,
all the time.
And on top of that, it's just like when it comes to the side missions, again, they were all well written, right? I'm not going to say they weren't, but I feel like a good amount of them just had their own. Like the effort put in some of them should have been put on fleshing out the characters a little bit more. Like, one way to say it is like this: Clive and Jill are one of my favorite relationships in Final Fantasy. Might be the best one in Final Fantasy, period. But as individual characters, Clive is alright. Jill's just kind of there though.
Hey, look, I know
Until she said something,
Yo,
I legit got Joe scared about her doing a light ice spell because I forgot she was even with me. I was like, hey, yo.
yeah, it definitely needs more dialogue. They didn't flesh her out good enough. I mean, I haven't beat the game. She had without spoiling anything, she does have like a backstory or what. Like,
Oh yeah, she got a story and she got but she doesn't have anything outside. Like there was even to her story, there wasn't really build up to it. There was just one that said, "Hey, want to help me run the page?"
It's time for Jill's story.
Yeah,
Congratulations on doing Jill's story. Did you feel something?
Right, and then you don't really deal with that no more. Like, okay,
it was kind of anticlimactic too, to be honest with you. I mean,
I didn't have an issue with how it ended, but I wish there was like more lasting consequences afterwards. Like, honestly, before and after that, she didn't really change that much as a character.
Like, doesn't
not
change
at all. Like, I thought she was gonna like cut her hair or something, bro. Like, if she gotta
get a fucking.
Thought she's gonna pull a Sakura.
Hey, look. All right. I think that she might look better with short hair. I don't know. But she looks bland half the time. She just looks bland. She looks like
that's not her fault. I understand what you're saying. I think Jill's a very pretty lady in design, right? She's very elegant. But you put anybody next to Clive motherfucking Rosfield, bro, you look like a bitch. Like,
this was a Final Fantasy game where the main character was the prettiest character in the game.
Sexual fucking Tyrannosaurus.
That is crazy.
Holy shit. That man just
that is wild.
Sexual energy. Like, that shit's crazy. And you got the hottest Sid they ever made, too, right next to him. Like, that shit's fucked up. Joe got a bad
Joe had no chance. That's kind of funny.
No chance. That's not fair.
Oh, no. Yeah. She could definitely.
The characters could have got some more. Like some of the energy in these side quests come with the characters. Another issue I had was the crafting. That didn't need to be in the game. Period. Like,
bro, that shit was. They might as well just give you the sword, bro. I mean, just give me the sword at this point. I mean, have you started your second playthrough?
As far as I've played, like, when did you actually start crafting anything?
Very early. Yeah,
because I feel like I haven't really needed to craft it.
You don't need to do anything.
No.
Yeah, you can beat everything.
Wait. Here's my example. This is how my crafting experience went, right, Rodney? After each boss, you get a material, and with that material, you make a sword that's easy to make, that's designed to keep your power level of the narrative, right? Like, if you halfway through the game, that mid boss will give you an item to build a sword that's, strong enough for that point in the game.
Anything beyond? Because I've done that a few times.
No. I've done that. I kid you not, the credits were rolling, right? At the end of the game. If it was there when I was talking about it, I was like, oh shit. I never upgraded my armor since I started the game. Like my van bracelets, my necklace, all that stuff. That was the basic stuff, G. I forgot to do that. I didn't buy nothing. I didn't craft nothing. I was just making the sword.
Definitely Devil May Cry in the bones, because Devil May Cry, like, you get new weapons and stuff, but like your stats don't change.
Bro, it is nothing like Devil May Cry. Like, I understand what you're saying. Like, you don't do, like, it doesn't matter.
Like, you don't really change that much.
You change your movesets.
Devil May Cry, you get new weapons.
Yeah.
Like, but other than that,
I feel like that's one of the game's
the icons are your weapons.
The icons are the weapons.
Yeah, for sure.
But they limit you. They limit you to 2 powers at once. For every icon, you only have 3 equipped.
Yeah, they need more slots for the icons too.
You should be able to do 4 moves per icon. You should have all 4 equipped.
Yeah. Like, there's way too many. Like, for example, like
simple man in this game.
Garuda has.
I was gonna say, if anything, just have all the shoulder buttons be.
Yeah, different stuff.
Yeah. And see, here's the thing. Like, here's a perfect example. Like, take Garuda for example. So, for those who don't know, you have there's two types of abilities you get from an icon. You get the feat, and you get the skills. Now the skills can be put on any icon if you level it up enough. So you can mix and match them. You have like Garuda with like Bahamut skills or whatever, right?
Mhm.
But the feats are the icons you have available themselves. And
Like, this shit is
Garuda's
completely unbalanced. Like, this shit's wild.
Garuda stuff is just straight up mandatory to play the game. Optimally, like you can't take that off. Period.
There's
That
no
should have
reason to.
been none at all. Like it literally adds a whole fundamental gameplay mechanic to the combat. There's no way you're taking that off.
I mean, not that the game is hard, like you don't really need it, I guess, but like why? Like
It's
the
nice
game
to
is too
have.
simple too. Like why would I
Right.
take away stuff to do in the game? Like I need more to do. I don't need less.
Yeah.
Mm.
So that was another thing. So, well, I'm not going to get into any spoilers or anything. I'll say this: when it comes to a game with no DLCs coming from what we've heard, and no and I don't hear any plans for a sequel. There might be a sequel. I feel like they could have wrapped the bow at the end a little bit better. You know, just really complete the package.
All right,
But-
so Lerone doesn't want to say it, but this game lacks conclusivity.
Yeah.
I did not feel happy when the game ended. Big sad. Very mildly confusing and open-ended for no reason.
Yeah.
Mm.
And again, to not go into any details, the game was really, really good, right? Narrative, it still is a good game. But the thing is, it was so different from a Final Fantasy game that you like, okay, this is nice, down to earth, gritty story, but then at the
And it
end
turns
of the
into a
day,
Final Fantasy
it
game.
turns to a Final Fantasy game. Last minute,
And
just
it goes
off the
from
rails,
0 to 100,000 million infinity. Holy
so
shit.
quick. The whiplash was crazy. I'm like, what's happening? Like, we're going full anime right now. I'm finna go full anime. Like, alright. And again, in a vacuum, that would have been fine. But it's just that's coming off the back of a whole like almost different genre of game you were playing beforehand.
Damn.
So the
It's
whiplash.
gonna be
is
wild
hard.
for me to see what the fuck you're talking about because that
No,
sounds
no.
pretty jarring.
No, it was really jarring. Keep in mind, this after 6 hours of side quest, they decided to double you at the last minute. They could have been given to you earlier. I don't know why they did that shit. So overall, yeah, 7.5 out of 10 for me. I went in thinking it was gonna be a 9, and honestly, it would have been a solid 8. But again, the actual like performance is inexcusable. So you gotta take a whole point off of that, just straight up.
I feel you on that for sure.
Like you shouldn't be in 2023 with a game. It has not only no motion blur setting, but motion blur so strong it makes me visibly. It just makes me ill. Like what? No. But yeah, that's my verdict. Did it live up to the hype? I mean, it was a good game. It wasn't super crazy. The fights were melting people's PS5s. That's crazy.
Yeah, that was pretty funny.
That was funny. They were really good fights.
Sure. Or the
You know what's
technology.
funny? Actually, now I think about it, a good comparison to this game would be Sonic Frontiers to the other Sonic games, where the spectacle was just so over the top and it was the main selling point of the game. That's kind of how this felt. It had a really the spectacle was insane. I enjoyed every moment of it. I paid for my PS5 through half of it, but before we made it to the other side, it didn't break.
I mean,
I feel exactly what you're saying because realistically, I haven't even played Frontiers, but I know how different it is compared to the other ones. This one really does encompass like a brand new avenue that Final Fantasy might want to go. I mean, they're definitely more. This is Kingdom Hearts Final Fantasy. I feel like, you know,
and like, look, and my last point on this, and I'll let y'all say your parts, whatever. It's just the game. How do I put this? Nah, never mind. I'll let y'all cook.
all right, so
come back to it.
Go ahead, Enzo.
Oh no, I was just gonna say this is Kingdom Hearts Final Fantasy, and we'll see which way they take this.
Oh, okay. Sorry. I knew what I was gonna say. One good thing one good thing was that I am glad they said they're gonna do this DLC action game. I'm glad they actually didn't be wishy-washy with it. They full send it. They stuck to this vision of the game, and that much showed it. It was a good version of the type of Final Fantasy game.
I think my rating of the game. Let me think. I think up to a certain point in the game, it was a solid 8. Very solid 8. And I think after that point in the game, it dropped to like a 6. That's partially my fault for being obsessed with doing all the shit on the screen. Like all the side quests. Like I think up until this point in the game, even the side quests I thought were more interesting. There is a specific side quest in this. Yeah, I want to talk about it so bad. I think you guys already passed it. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, everyone did it. Yeah.
Yeah, you did the side quest in the field where you meet this.
Nobleman?
Yeah, the nobleman's like, go help my son. He's being attacked by a wolf.
Oh yeah.
Right? Yeah, and you go there, and the is like, getting the Brandon just to go fight the wolf and get murdered by it because he's just a fucking psychopath, and the dad's supporting because he's also a psychopath. And you go over there, and then fucking what the hell's his name? Ben Starr, I believe, is the voice actor for Clive. Fucking awesome delivery. Is like, how dare you do this? Blah 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 blah. This is disgusting. Blah 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 blah. This can't be done. Blah 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 blah. Commences to walk away and does nothing about it because he's a good guy character and you're not allowed to do bad guy things apparently. In the Game of Thrones game, very interesting decision in that. But walks away. Go digs up the bodies, meets some random dude. I don't even know. This dude's never comes up again. And he's like, oh, so you're a Brandon. Do you want to help me bury these guys? You're like, yeah, bro, I'll bury those guys with you. And then he's like, oh, yeah, you better be careful letting dogs into your house. They're wild animals. They might attack you. And then it cuts to, like, them being ripped apart, or it sounds like they're being ripped apart by a wild dog.
I want to see it, bro. I ain't gonna lie.
You get 2 bloody highs if you go over there.
Yeah, that's pretty funny. But, and he's like, you just be careful out there. Hopefully we see each other again. And Clive just looks like, what the fuck? That's crazy, bro.
Yeah,
I thought we were playing a Final Fantasy game, not an adult game with adult themes. That's wild. And I was like, wow, that's really setting up this game for really adult themes and adult stuff happening. Like, people aren't going to just sit down and be abused, and they're not just going to let you fucking murder them. Like, people are going to fight back, even if Final Fantasy God King man is walking around not doing anything about it. I thought that was really cool. I thought that was easily the best side quest in the game, though, and it only went downhill from there. So that's the big problem. That's the bigger problem. Yeah. The game commences to give you side quests pretty much after every main story event, which is fine if the main story event wasn't basically a cliffhanger like setup for the next story event. So it basically makes you drown in just fucking boring ass, repetitive, nonsensical MMO fucking bullshit quests, which are decently written.
Locations too, by the way. So it's like in the middle quest too, the side quests will pop up.
Yeah, shit will just like you'll get into a fight, leave, and you're getting ready for the fight the guy again, and it's like 18 hours of side quests. Like fuck you. Fuck you think you were doing, bro. And they had the decency to put check marks on side quests that actually gave you upgrades or specific key gameplay element improvements. But that also means they realized that the other side quests were shit and separated them accordingly. And it's like, they're written well, they're just not put in a good position, and, there's so much stuff you can add to characters, but if you don't really give people a reason to care, like, there's a lot of side quests about they're not even, like, secondary characters, they're, like, tertiary characters, like the vendors, and the blacksmith, and the fucking lore guy. And it gives you interesting information about them, but it's like, do I really care about that when I'm fighting fucking Final Fantasy god beings trying to save the world? Maybe not. Not in the middle of that, It's a little poor on the pacing.
Yeah, definitely had MMO pacing for sure.
Super MMO pacing. It felt like I was going through the fucking filler arcs for Final Fantasy 14.
Yeah. 100%.
Even some of those quests were written well.
I mean, like, it makes sense because this man's been working on 14 for how? It's like ingrained in his being.
It feels like it's ingrained in that studio. Like, that's what they do. But also the thing I was disappointed with, really more than anything, was that those adult themes are shown off so strongly at the beginning of the game, right? Like everything was super serious, kind of down to earth with the Final Fantasy spice as like the fights. And the game basically builds that. There is still some really awkward dialogue, I think, between some of the characters that doesn't quite hit. But for the most part, it's pretty solid. You get to certain points. You fight Titan, the Titan guy. That was like a really good point of the game. It was really fun. A lot of in between those characters. But you get to the next dude after that, and it's just downhill to fucking Shitsville. Like, I think the game story just dive bombs after that. It goes from Game of Crystals to fucking Final Fantasy 13 nonsense, like instantly.
Yeah.
And it feels like it wasn't always supposed to be like that. I mean, the crystals, bro, the crystals, except it's not crystals, it's something else. But it's basically the crystal. Right? Like, people stop being important, characters stop being important, it's fucking philosophical mumbo-jumbo, the game, like... And it would be fine if that shit made sense or was interesting, like it was in 14. Like, if it was Emmett Sulk spitting philosophy at me, I would be listening. But it's not, and it's not on that level, and it's not interesting, and it's fucking stupid and ridiculous. Like, and it doesn't feel like it was always supposed to be that, because they set up the character that I thought was supposed to be pretty much the main bad guy, like they set up Olbez in Final Fantasy IV, and then he's just not the main bad guy, like in Final Fantasy IV. But, like, they don't even pretend like he is. Like, he's pretty much just irrelevant. Where he should definitely not be irrelevant. Like, he should be the main antagonist until, like, the last 5% of the game, I felt like, and that would have been so much better.
Yeah.
But, I mean,
the thing is, this man has some of the craziest feats you will see in the cutscenes, but even his boss battle, like, the best boss battle of that game was the Bahamut fight. I think we can all agree on
100%.
Like, that was just the best fight in that game.
Yeah, Ronnie's gonna shit his pants when he gets there. I want to see that.
Oh yeah, I'll definitely gotta see that. That's gonna be great.
I see his PlayStation might shit itself too. My PlayStation told me I'm playing in graphics mode, and I heard that's like partially for the reason. That's what I played it in, with the disgusting fucking motion blur, which I think they patched now, so that's good. But
they did?
Holy shit! Yeah, they added a slider. But, like, that was just a mistake. Don't fucking play on graphics mode. Ugh.
Let me switch over to performers before I blow my shit up. Yeah, thanks for the heads up.
Yeah, it prompted me. My PlayStation prompted me twice. Your PlayStation 5 is overheating. Please shut it off. I ignored that shit. It did not die.
Bro.
But, you know, it was scary.
This man playing with fire for real.
Yeah, dude, I was playing with real life mega flares going on.
That was an actual airframe.
Yeah, dude, it was crazy. But like, it's definitely good looking. Like, I like the spectacle in games for sure. Like, I love big epic boss fights, but the game's too easy. Like,
yeah,
it's way too easy, especially in Devil May Cry-esque combat. Like, it's really not Devil May Cry. Like, you have moves and gameplay elements of a Devil May Cry game, but you don't have the breadth of moves, like, of a move set. And that makes, I think, combat repetitive and kind of boring. You're just sitting there waiting on cooldowns all the time.
There was never a point in that game where I saw a boss, I was like, am I ready for this? No, I knew I was going to win.
I was playing the game, like, I'm not trying to sound like an asshole here, but, like, I don't want to use potions, because, like, if I felt like I used a potion, I would never die. Like,
this man didn't use potions so he can feel something. That should let you know.
Yeah, like, the game is so easy. That was like, if I use potions, I'm just going to beat everything first try, and it's not going to be entertaining. Like, there's not enough gameplay mechanics stuff going on. Like, I don't have a big enough move set, and I can't interact with the enemy enough, which was unfortunate. Like, there's cool ass fucking moves you could do, and the stagger thing is sick. You can't do enough of them in rapid succession. Like, it felt like it was trying to put in Devil May Cry combat, but make it as accessible as possible, because they were really scared if they tried to make it that hard. You know, people aren't going to play it. People aren't going to like it because it's too hard. I think they were too afraid of it being too hard. I know they add harder difficulties later, but, like, I don't want to play the game again. I'm going to be honest with you. Like, there's too much boring other shit that gets in the way of playing it.
I mean, but you could just skip all the side quests, skip all of the bullshit, and like just do what you wanted.
The problem is that you get key upgrade things. Right? You get stuff that makes your cooldowns come back faster. You get stuff that makes abilities better.
You don't get to keep those into the second playthrough?
You do, but you get better versions of them in the new game.
Gotcha.
And you obviously want that to make the game easier, because in the new game plus, there's another problem. The game doesn't get harder really; it just becomes spongier. So like, you're just fighting big sponge mans. Like there's attacks you have to dodge and everything, but like it's not hard to dodge anything in the game. I don't think. Like there's some attacks, like it's hard to parry shit in this game. Like the actual parry is fucking hard as shit to get. You don't get anything for it really. It's not random. It's hard. It's hard to do. It's like very specific. The frame, like you need to have your active frames hit their active frames, and your active frames don't come out instantly. So it's like a delayed kind of thing. It's very strange. But there's other ways you can circumvent that. You never have to deal with it. So it's kind of pointless. There's actual there's magical parry spells. There's physical parry spells. There's the dodge, which I don't know why you would ever parry with the dodge. Like. There's a ring that turns you into fucking Akira every time you dodge. It's
The
Berserker ring?
The Berserker ring.
That shit breaks the game. I mean, the game's already broken, but like you're never getting hit. Like
the Berserker ring, bro. Bro, put that on if you don't get that. It will change
over. It changes your dodge. It gives you
you start teleporting and kill sliding
after you dodge, and the more you dodge, the more damage you do. It's not a big increase, but it's like just keeps going up. So.
I just like it because it looks cool.
It looks cool.
Oh yeah, it was sick.
Sure. Because as far as like,
it looked like it should have been like an upgrade to the combat.
Is still really simple in this game. Like you have the same combo. You should have the same base combo.
Yeah, you never upgrade your base moveset.
Yeah.
It never evolves.
And that's like one of the main things that I noticed. Didn't really. That's one of the main things I don't like. Like there are other things like the Berserker ring. I'm glad because it gave a little bit of
that evolves your moveset and it's cool.
Yeah,
and you realize there's nothing else in the game like that.
Yeah, you need something like that in this type of game when you're fighting as much as. It's just weird that they don't.
I think it's because they're scared of making it too complicated and too hard.
Yeah, and I did think it was interesting just seeing how different. Well, I can't really refer to the Zell or Rodney that much because I haven't seen him play the game really. But man, Infamous, like we had some skills that overlapped. We had some skills that didn't. So seeing what he used versus what I used was kind of cool. There were some skills I thought were great. They thought were useless, and vice versa.
Yeah, I mean, you could use whatever you want, really, because the game is so simple. You could everything works. Like I really like doing this combo with like Garuda and Titan's move. Like you float up in the air and you come smashing down. I thought that was sick. Is that the most effective? No. Does it matter? No. Doesn't fucking matter.
No, it's really everything is good, so you can really use whatever makes you happy. I feel like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's good.
Because you can definitely make.
I just wish I could use more of it though, because there are a lot of things that made me happy.
Like I want every move. I don't think you should be limited. I think you should have every fucking move available to you at your fingertips. Like every time you switch to an icon, like all your face buttons should be moves at least. You should at least have 4. I think there is only 4 for everything, isn't there?
Yeah.
No, well, because it's square, triangle.
No, it is because you have your feet, which is a circle button, and then you have 2 special moves and a super move, right?
Except for Ifrit.
Except for Ifrit.
Yeah, Ifrit don't got one. He got limit break.
There you go.
Oh, you mean like in the ability?
You put Ifrit move wherever you want to replace them, I guess.
Yeah. Every icon had like a super busted like ultimate.
Yeah, they'll have their ultimate. Like fucking Phoenix has Flames of Rebirth.
Yeah.
But that still takes up a normal slot though.
That's what I'm saying. You should have all of these moves available to you. You shouldn't be limited to 2.
Yeah, it shouldn't be a slot.
Oh yeah. I mean, why don't you have access to X and O? Like really?
Circle is the feet.
Circle's the feet.
Yeah. But X is jump. Like you can't hold R2 and hit X, like
that's what I'm saying. Like, because if you're holding R2 and you're pressing O, you would expect something different anyway.
Yeah.
No.
It's a strange mishmash of combat ideas that I think serve the purpose of being accessible, but don't serve the purpose of being like in depth. What you want, like the fact that it was on a cooldown too. Even if you had all the moves, it's still just going to be you cycling cooldowns,
No,
which is
you
like
straight
Final
up.
Fantasy 14. But
Yeah,
if it's
you
a
had your
Devil May
burst
Cry
phase.
game, it's about doing moves, not waiting for cooldowns. Right? It's about hitting hard to hit, button inputs, which they don't have to be hard to hit inputs. They just need to have access to them and know when to use them.
And this was the point I made to Infamous. It was still kind of funny when I said it out loud for the first time, but the combat is actually pretty similar to Hogwarts, which is kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Word, I can see
Yeah.
what you mean.
You just bash your cooldown, cycle through them. It's
Yeah,
not like
right.
there's an elemental thing. Actually, no. Hogwarts had more of an elemental system.
Yeah, that's the second point we got to get to is that God of War, the latest God of War, is more of an RPG than Final Fantasy 16.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Which is
that
fucking
is spicy.
wild. That's
Spicy
wild,
take.
bro. That's not
It's
even a
a
spicy
real-
take.
It's
That's just
real.
real though. It's real though, but it's spicy.
It's just wild. Like, what a strange decision. You know?
Yeah.
If
I
anything,
think-
I will say I haven't beat the game yet, but it does make me want to play another Final Fantasy, a more RPG.
Makes me want to
I
play
think that's-
7.
Yeah, and
Remake.
coincidentally, they got the remake 2
And
coming
that's,
out.
yeah,
Like,
that's why they have the sequel coming out. For sure. I mean, I think the gameplay is still a good thing. I'm glad they decided to try it at least.
Yeah.
And that's why I want DLC for this game. Because I want to see them improve upon this. Because I don't want to just dismiss it. Like 15's combat was so trash. Like I'm glad it's for beyond that. Like that was garbage. This is at least interesting. Too easy, but interesting. All right.
They took the I don't know. Like I can tell they took the bones of Kingdom Hearts and dumbed it down even further with 15.
Yeah, I never played
And
Kingdom
it's
Hearts.
like-
How does this
Kingdom
compare to
Hearts-
that?
It's a
Like
lot
at its
closer.
most complicated. Like what's the
At its
hardest
most
fight in Kingdom
complicated?
Hearts 2 compared to this game that you played?
Oh, Kingdom Hearts is on another level when it's difficult.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
yeah.
crazy to
At
me.
least like the secret bosses.
Yeah.
No, that shit was built different.
That's another problem with this game. There is nothing really like that. Like there's bounty hunts, and some of those fights are kind of hard, but
Yeah.
they're not really hard. Not like, holy shit, here's the Pride and what is it, the Pride and Joy from 7 Remake, or here's fucking the Knights of the Round, or here's fucking Sephiroth.
The red and root sapphire weapons.
Yeah.
Ruby and sapphire weapons.
Like, there's nothing like, holy fuck, I better know what's happening in every phase. I better know what the weaknesses are, and I better know how to buff my. Like, no, there's like, do I know how to
Even Kingdom
dodge?
Hearts had that. That's
The quote unquote hardest boss was like this low 50 dragon hunt, and I did that shit like over 10 levels under level.
Yeah,
That's because stats don't
He
really
does,
matter
like,
as
four-
much
he does,
in
like,
this
4
game
moves.
as they did.
Yeah, it did like 4 moves.
and they're nothing is crazy hard to do it. Like, I feel like I mean, maybe it was just limitations. I feel like they could have went crazy with the attacks. Like,
Yeah.
he does that one attack. This guy does attack. He summons like fireballs and he sends them forward toward you. They move so slow. Like I don't know how you get hit by them. And there's only coming from one direction. Like I was expecting like bullet hell to rain at me.
Yeah.
You know, like
You just
there
casually
was this
walk to the
one
side.
dude in a field who cast Apocalypse. I never saw what that actually did, but it looked like it was gonna do some shit.
You just killed that one.
Yeah, they didn't just
Apocalypse,
die.
huh?
Yeah, it was Apocalypse. It was a shred of Apocalypse. Like rips in the sky were opening and shit was coming out of the ground. But he
Jesus.
just died. Something happened, but it's not like I couldn't just dodge it. It's not like it was hard to
Yeah,
deal
because
with.
everything has like a swimming pool to jump out of.
Yeah, I mean you could just dodge through them.
Yeah, if you dodge it, there's that moment it hits, right?
Exact is a loose term in this game. It's very forgiving.
Fair enough.
I don't
mean-
mind it being forgiving either, but I don't know. It's feel like it's too easy to deal with because of that. Like there's nothing that mixes up just spam dodge. Like there's nothing that's like catches me out of the dodge. If the dodge was
Yeah.
like harder to do or consume the resource or something, fine. That's fine if it's easy to do. but it doesn't, and it's really easy, and you can literally just spam it over and over again.
Yeah.
And that's the main defensive mechanic of the game. Like, nothing cannot be dodged, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah,
And
I
like,
feel
here's a
what you're saying.
double-edged sword too. Like, this is a good and a bad thing for me, right? I like it when every skill works on every enemy, including the final bosses, right?
Mm-hmm.
There was a skill that you just stop people, paralyze them mid animation, and it works even on the final boss in the game. He hits you, you just counter it. He just stuck, can't do shit.
Oh yeah,
Like,
it's fine, right? 'Cause I think those are more fine because they're cooldowns, at least. Right?
no, that was a feat.
Oh, I mean that's just a broken feat, though. Like, that's stupid. But I feel like
Yeah,
that dodge was harder to time than the normal dodge.
really.
Yeah. Like, I was trying to do it when you were watching. Like, I couldn't consistently get that to go off. But I could, like, it would dodge the attack, but it wouldn't give me the
Oh,
the
the way you do
benefit
the
from it.
pattern.
Yeah. The regular dodge, like, I feel like you can only get precision dodges. I don't feel like you ever dodge anything without getting a precision dodge.
Yeah, it's pretty forgiving, like you said. I mean, unless you're just way far away from the motherfucker, then it doesn't really count. But
Yeah. It needs to be like the bosses need to deal with you and your ability to do that.
Yeah.
They need to trick your shit. I think
Exactly.
that one boss that you fight in that like dream sequence, like that was probably the coolest boss to me because he actually had shit going on. Like there was some crazy shit going on the screen. He looked like the fucking devil, and that was pretty sick. But
yeah,
that was pretty much it. I mean, so it's basically the gameplay is a little bit too easy. I'd still like it. Don't get me wrong. Don't ever make Final Fantasy 15 again, please.
I mean, to be fair, Square Enix didn't even make that. The people who made
whoever
Forspoken made.
evolve this combat or take 7 Remakes combat. Either one, do a little bit more with it. You got some good shit. The story, I feel like they wanted to make a down-to-earth Final Fantasy game and then just quit halfway through.
Yeah.
Don't quit next time, and don't put in the dumb Final Fantasy shit. Or if you do, make it at the last 5% of the game. You know, if this game's story was strictly about the characters interacting with each other on like a human level and actually having interesting things to say to each other instead of nonsense, like you talk to the guy who's Titan, and you and the Titan guy have a reason to fight each other that makes sense and it's interesting, right? I wouldn't say I felt that much because it feels a little forced, but it felt something. It was cool. It was interesting, but there's nothing on the level of like you fighting. What the fuck was his name in 14? The dude at the end of the world, Xenos. Is that his name?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like there's nothing that cool. There's no character as cool as it when they're very clearly is supposed to be. And there's there is a Virgil to your Dante, and he's right there, and they're like, "Fuck him, he's not important."
Yeah. That's very unfortunate.
Yeah, like that
This man had one of the coolest pull-ups in video game history.
Absolutely, dude. This man has the sickest, most. I was scared, bro. I never get scared of a motherfucker in a game. This man came off this cliff looking down at your ass. I was like, oh fuck. Like he looked like he meant business, and then he just commenced to have no business.
This man is businessless.
Yeah, it was really. It feels like they changed their mind through development. I don't know if they
I'll put
did.
it this way. It's funny because it's like there's two different main characters. There's the main character you play, and there's the main character in the cutscenes, right?
Yeah.
The main character you play don't take any L's. The main character cutscene comes with L's from this guy.
Oh,
the
yeah.
dude was so cool in the cutscenes.
Narrative.
Boy, he pull up for real.
Narrative dissonance. Fucking flawless. Don't ever get hit by this guy in the game, and then in the story, you're a fucking trash can and get one shot. Okay. Clive doesn't know how to use R1 in the cutscenes, unfortunately. Yeah, so I mean, like, I'd probably go. I think a 7 is actually a perfect 7.5 is like a perfect rating when I think about it, because like the first part of the game is so strong, and then the second part of the game falls off so strong. Like, I think 7.5 is a good thing, good rating for it. which is definitely disappointing for me. Like I wanted a really good story from this. Like I didn't even care if the gameplay was as basic or whatever. They want to make it accessible. That makes perfect sense to me, right? They're trying to hit a bigger audience than typical Devil May Cry stuff. But like the story being so like mid, pretty upsetting. But it's not terrible. It's not as bad as 15.
Yeah, mid doesn't mean bad. Mid just means
it was alright.
Average.
7.5.
Okay.
I was expecting a 10.
I mean,
I
it was in the game, bro. What you mean?
You popped up like Infamous said, the road trip and everything after that was average. Oh, I was saying that you said in 15 the road trip was the best part, and then
dude, the idea of the road
after
trip.
That was
that would have been sick. If it was just
going through. That would have been sick. Dealing with all kinds of Final Fantasy problems, like helping people
for like
out.
a couple hours. Then I don't know who wrote that, but I hope that they don't write things anymore, or at least they fucking learned how to write shit properly. Because everything in that game was bad.
It looked good.
It looked good.
Yeah, it looked pretty, but
I think the summons look better.
If you want to
like
stick a bunch of fucking diamonds in a piece of shit, it's still a piece of shit.
Yeah, like, there's no
diamonds
substance
in it.
There's no like
valuable.
It's so jarring going through the original game, and like you pretty much don't learn about any of your companions, and then it's like big sad everyone dies. Like what? How'd that happen? Why am I sad?
Right, me and literally had the pressure counter as we played the game. It just kept going up.
Oh yeah, in 16, yeah, it was like they were just murdering people for no reason. I think that was a problem too with the game.
They killed characters didn't need to die.
Through it, right? They both went through that, right?
Yeah,
You guys got the lightning guy.
Yeah,
Rama. Yeah.
Yeah, so like killing Sid. That plays into the Game of Thrones aspect. Like, all right, no one's off the table, everyone's dying. You can't do that when you have no interesting party members. No one replaces him, and the game's just lesser for his absence. Like,
that's very true.
If the game included that 5-year time skill, like what was happening during it, what made you take his office, maybe.
Yeah, if his death meant something other than we don't want to pay this guy anymore or something, like I don't know. Like, they don't show like what happens to Clive. Just like, oh, I'm Sid now, a douchebag. I don't know, like.
It is strange. Like I feel like that's definitely a word. Like the game is worse for them skipping that.
I feel like it was probably time constraints.
100%, but like
I feel like
why is that even part of the story? Like nothing would be different if you just didn't skip the time and just said he became the new Sid, as you did all these fucking meaningless side quests for everybody.
I mean, they should have definitely gave you a bit more of like a summary, or at least like because they do that in the game. Like I'm pretty sure you've seen that before.
There's tons of lore stuff.
Yeah. Like why didn't they just drop? Like you could have at least dropped like a lore piece. You know what I mean? Like what happened when you came back? Like nigga, how many people died from what's going on?
Yeah, like this is the thing with The Witcher, right? So people love the side quests in The Witcher, right? Because they either like had to do with characters you're acting with the main quest, or they were part of the main quest, right? Like, I think pretty much a lot of people agree that the Bloody Baron side quest is like the best side quest in a video game ever made, because of how integral it is to like the game and how well done the story is delivered. There's nothing like that in this. There's nothing like that. There's no like integral side quest talking about how your actions have fucking affected people. They say like, oh yeah, people don't know how to do shit because you destroyed the magic that did it for them. They don't show it really all that much. There's nothing crazy. You're not saving kids from starving because you took away their food supply and their water.
You know what I'm really mad they didn't explore? They mentioned in the game. They were like, okay, if the crystals fall, then the people going to depend on the bearers even more, blah, blah, blah. But they didn't do anything with that.
The whole racial, slave thing going on with the branding kind of gets dropped.
Which is unfortunate, because that was...
Yo, you know what is crazy? Alright, look. It's literally like the character starts off black, And then all of a sudden, he's like, I can get rid of being black now. I'm like fucking albino or some shit.
He had the scalpel, bro. It's fine.
He doesn't have to deal with this shit. No, he doesn't have to deal with it, bro. Like,
yeah, like
I get what you're saying, but
that was a wild analogy.
That was a wild analogy.
It was.
Look,
He understands
the
the spirit.
whole character story is about doing this one thing. Now that I think about it, it reminds me of Tales of Arise, which is another RPG game that came out. And it was about breaking free of pretty much indentured servitude. Except that game never drops that as the story, like, plot. That's pretty much the plot. Finding out who you are. And this game drops it. Like, not that saying that game's storyline's any better than this. Like, I think this game's characters are better. But that game's story is more consistent.
They were low key on some Looney Tunes shit. I ain't gonna lie to you, because you gonna expect me to believe that the Clive Rosfield of all people walks up to you, right? And then you see him later. He has an X-shaped scar on his face where the tattoo used to be. You don't recognize him no more.
Yeah, like what is the branded removal thing? Like,
I mean, it's
clearly you were a branded person.
Well, there's no guarantee. Like, so you get a little bit better of a pass. Because I definitely thought about that shit too. I'm like, this doesn't really make sense.
The scar is the exact same shape, bro.
Bro, it's not always in the exact same shape though. Everybody has.
But it is for this nigga, G. That's the problem.
Hey, look, bro. You got
rid of him.
That's why I wanted to say it like that, like, because it's literally like you have to. It's like coming into America and dealing with racism and then not dealing with it because you like got a fucking passport. Like, no, I'm serious, bro. No, bro. I swear. It's like you got a passport and everybody was like, "All right, cool, you good now." Cause like, bro,
it's like an on-off
analogies.
Hey,
I mean, I totally get where you're coming from. I get what you're saying. It's just, goddamn, ease up. Just a little bit.
I have to make it as obvious as possible, bro. It's obvious.
No, you
there's
don't.
No misunderstanding that. You understand? Like, there's no.
I mean, you could have used simpler fucking analogies.
Hey, look.
I mean, I get what you're saying.
Yeah, whatever. It doesn't matter.
You got free travel, all right?
It
wasn't like that.
It wasn't like that days before. I don't know. Like, I was not expecting a filler arc in this game, and I got like 7 of them, and like fucking Stormblood's main quest line. I was expecting at least Shadowbringers followed up by like mini Shadowbringers. And I never got that in terms of story quality, so that was kind of sad.
Yeah.
The stories. Let's go over the music. I like the music. The music's really good. Obviously, Soken, right? But I feel like they use the same music way too much, way too often. And I honestly want to say that the best track is, I don't know if it's Clive's track specifically or if it's like Ifrit's. I think it's called Find the Flame. That's the best song in the game. And I don't think really anything even compares to that. Which is kind of messed up. I was expecting a lot more of stuff on that level. I sound like an asshole now, just saying it in my head, but I don't know. Like, Soken put out so many fucking killer soundtracks in 14. I was kind of like, you never hear the cool trailer thing that we saw. There's a trailer for this game where like they announced all the characters' names to like the main theme of the game. And it was like super cool and cut together. That's never in the game. Like, I thought that would be like the concluding song they play because of the storyline, but no. There is a lot of weird soundtracks that were cool. Like, they sound like they're Tekken bound background music.
Oh yeah, they definitely have some Tekken music in there.
Yeah, which are cool. I don't know if they fit what's happening in the game when they're happening. I didn't hate them though. They were cool. Like, I was kind of expecting more, like, ridiculously over-the-top theatrical stuff like that Find the Flame track. I did not get it. But, yeah, I don't want to sound too salty here, but a little disappointing, for sure. If I didn't have to do all those side quests again, I would probably be playing it again. But the idea of me even having to run up to people, dude, the fact you can't sprint in your home base is the most disrespectful shit ever, bro.
Oh, yeah.
Holy
that's crazy.
Bro.
And the fact that you still sprinted in the overworld like it's Devil May Cry 1, bro, we don't need that shit. That shit's evolved.
Bro,
we can have a sprint button.
L3, bro.
You can,
what
whatever
the
you
fuck?
want. You can put it on any button you want. How dare you?
That was a weird decision.
I could teleport, and you're not even letting me sprint. Like, what are you doing?
And then, you can't even use the teleport to go faster because the fucking
there's insane recovery on it.
Insane animations at
recovery.
It's like they're penalizing you for trying to move faster. I'm
And here's spoilers. Not really. Who gives a fuck? You get a chocobo. That shit is not even fast.
Oh yeah, I got the chocobo. Yeah,
the chocobo is definitely faster than slightly faster than your run.
Slightly faster.
It's not that crazy.
It doesn't feel great.
You fight with it though, bro.
No, you can't. That's horseshit.
You can't finish.
It was funny because I did roll up on a soldier and straight for Rock Lee air dive drop
right?
on my chocobo. That shit was funny, but I never used that shit in combat.
That's all you could do.
That's a one-time deal.
You can do one move over and over again. That's not combat. That's stupid. I feel like the chocobo was put in as a concession to Final Fantasy.
Yeah.
But whatever. I don't know why the game's open world at all.
It's a pretty controlled open world.
Yeah, I don't even know why it's like that at all, though. I don't know. I would prefer tinier hallways, I guess, because you move so slow through them.
Oh, can we talk about the scale? The architecture of that game just seems two sides are too big.
Oh, yeah. Every building you go in is 3 times the size of a human. It makes no sense. I don't know what that's about. You'll just be in a house and
giants, right?
No, I mean not that we've seen. It looks like the houses are built for giants. Or
You're just a regular dude.
50% bigger than you. I'm Clive's a big dude. He isn't tiny.
But he does look tiny. I mean, I feel like those rooms are damn near made for Kuka or somebody bigger than him.
Yeah, they look like they.
He's the only one in that game big.
Yeah, it's strange though. Yeah.
It just seems a little bit too big.
I mean, I guess it makes it easier to get to places because you can kind of see through everything. It's really hard.
The problem with that though, Giselle, is because the room is so big, you want to search every corner for loot, and there's no hidden.
This game is terrible.
There's no loot. There's no point ever searching for anything. Yeah, I don't know why there's anything in the field that's fucking worthless.
I've never found anything of value, bro.
There's
Infamous found a Masamune.
Yeah, I found a random sword next to a thing, a challenger's shrine, and that was it.
Fuck?
That's one thing. You don't find there's not multiple things like that. There's 3 spots with items next to other things. It's nothing in this random section of the map is the fucking key to the ultimate weapon. No. There's no discovery.
Is there even an ultimate weapon?
Yes, you gotta beat the second. You gotta beat the second difficulty to get it.
You have to beat the whole second playthrough.
Damn near.
To get to the end game.
Plan, bro.
I mean, you want some more spoilers? No. I mean, it's not spoilers. No one cares. The God of Damarong is the end game weapon for the main quest.
Yeah, you can't get the weapon in your first playthrough. Period.
Yeah,
I know.
And then the story. Some of the pieces are story locked, so you gotta.
Story locked.
Some of the core crafting materials for the ultimate weapon are story locked.
Oh.
And you don't get them towards the end of the second campaign. Really?
Jesus Christ. That's the only reason I wanted to play the second playthrough.
I mean, you can get armor and stuff, the higher tier armor, but none of it matters. It doesn't matter. I mean,
you could just brew strength. I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you. I've been playing kind of sloppy, but using potions is really forgiving. The only times I've almost died in the game, I think I died once to fucking death on dumb shit, or doom on dumb shit. But other than that, the only times I've ever come close to dying is I forgot to get potions. I'm now I have to fucking really try in this fight because I didn't break any potions in the first place. Kind of shit like that.
I've died a grand total of 3 times that whole campaign.
I died a lot, but I didn't.
Oh yeah, you died because you were
making it hard. I mean, like you said, potions.
I don't know why. I don't know why you have access to so many too. It's kind of crazy.
And you get more. You get more.
Yeah, you get a lot.
You get more than just a potion and a high potion, on the
you
same.
You can get an elixir and you can increase the amount.
You can get a bunch of potions. You can get elixirs. You can get strength tonics. You can get defense tonics. You can get a fucking potion that brings you back to life once you
Yep.
die.
Whoa.
I mean, that is literally
Yeah.
the resurrection
Use the
stone.
single
God of
tonic.
War. Yeah, you're never gonna use any of that
Yeah,
shit.
I barely
Who
use
cares?
the tonics. I probably use it once.
Like, it'll make the game go
Potions.
faster. Like, it's not an interesting change.
Yeah. Wild.
It's not like an in-depth brewing system, you know. From there.
I love. When you gonna do that playthrough? I want to see you play that
We'll
game.
play through.
Hogwarts, so you have your in-depth brewing system and brew your potion.
Bro, I want to fucking kill people in that game. I want to be like a Hufflepuff gangster.
But you can do it though.
No, but they don't care. There's no like recompense for my actions.
Well, you turn do it to a TNT bomb and blow him up to his homies. G.
I want to be like a miscreant and a fucking degenerate to the point of like main characters like don't want to talk to me. Like when you're going through the story, like I'm like you're a fucking piece of shit.
What's wrong with him?
I don't know. I always wanted like the freedom in a Hogwarts game like that, like at least a good and a bad playthrough, right? And like, it's such a missed opportunity. You can't be a fucking piece of shit in that game. Exactly, man. I'm talking.
Oh man, I still want to play it though.
Yeah, I still do want to play. I just need to get time to play it. For sure.
Yeah, the time is a big thing right now.
I'll just say this: I definitely was thinking about potions because every time I use one, I was like, "Damn, I gotta go back home and make another one." That's crazy.
Ooh, that's how that
They be out
works.
here. Yeah, you gotta make all your shit.
Yeah,
That's
I
like
mean,
you play.
That's
Oh,
crazy that they
wild.
didn't just copy The Witcher 3's solution to that, where you make it the first time with this big epic crafting adventure, and then you just rest to get them back.
They're like, "Nah, you gotta go to your pot. You
That's
gotta brew that
the
stuff."
problem solved
In the
already, man.
motherfucking
That's
trenches,
wild.
brother.
Witcher 3 has some cool gameplay mechanics. The more I think about it, it's just need to be tightened up a little bit. But
Hey, potato OP.
dude,
Mhm.
that shit was saving lives. They nerfed it, too. You
Potatoes
know
and
that?
chicken.
You know that?
Remember that big potato hill too?
They nerfed it, bro. They nerfed the baked potato, and that shit was crazy. But yeah, that was pretty much it for Final Fantasy for me. Anybody else got anything to say from what they've experienced thus far?
I feel like I've seen peace for the most part.
Yeah.
I'm curious. I want to hear what you guys think about the story once you beat it, though, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hated
definitely
the ending, and I didn't hate the rest of the game leading up to that, but I hated that ending. I hate unconclusive shit. That fucking bothers me so much.
Especially when you ain't got no DLC plan.
Especially when you got
Hey,
nothing
look, I do want to
planned.
say this. Didn't they say that they were reconsidering about the no DLC thing because
I didn't hear that.
I don't know, man.
I'm gonna look it up, but I did want to say real quick. Like I feel like you guys have already said everything, especially because you know a lot more than I do based on where I am in the game. But I am sitting at a clean 8 right now. Definitely not looking forward to the stuff that you guys are talking about that's gonna bring it down. Yeah, I really wanted this to be like a 9, 10, you know. It wasn't going to be a 10, but I was hoping for like a 9, 9.5. But overall, based on just stuff that's missing in the game and things that just need to be polished up in like the next iteration that they try, I'm definitely sitting at an 8 and it's only going to go down from there. So, you know, I'm definitely interested to see the end of the game because I want to see how it goes, but yeah, in terms of the exploration and stuff, they definitely missed out. And there's getting back from, you know, this Final Fantasy 14 situation, but
DLC could potentially be back on the table.
Yep. I remember seeing that. So
yeah, I mean, I think for
Apparently, in an interview, they were like, they didn't know if people would even like, you know, anything about the characters.
The characters are the best part. Like, to not use them again.
And they've definitely been listening to the fans ask if we have potential of putting it on it.
I mean, I'm hoping they do if it fixes, you know, the ending of the game, whatever that happens to be. But yeah, I'm definitely glad to hear that they're. You think?
They might,
I don't know.
They might make it more clear, but they're not gonna change anything. I don't think they need to
Uh,
change anything. They just need to make it more clear. Like it felt like a run-on sentence as opposed to a period.
Yeah.
Okay, I thought you meant like they just didn't finish it. Like, which
I'll
is
put it this
strange
way:
to me.
they had an ending, right? No
Mhm.
spoilers, honestly. Me and Infants had completely two different conclusions, but they were both equally valid.
They both could have been what happened. Like I had a
it was
pessimistic view, he had an
open-ended.
optimistic view.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have no idea what happened.
I would rather like.
You want that period, right? Yeah.
You can dictate
Yeah.
things from like subtle clues in the ending, but it's like that doesn't mean anything. Not.
I want to see it. I want it written.
Yeah,
in
this
stone.
isn't Dark Souls.
Yeah.
It ain't Final Fantasy.
Yeah.
Like it's his Final Fantasy.
Yeah.
There was no moment either in the game where I was like emotional or anything happening either, which I think is a problem. Especially in a Final Fantasy game, like Final Fantasy VII Remake. There were parts in that game.
What do you mean by emotional? Because
Like,
I definitely was.
sad,
Oh,
like,
I was like memeing hard as hell.
You were laughing. Yeah, but, like
big effort, bro.
Big effort. That shit's so funny. They made effort the goat in this fucking game. Holy shit! If Ifrit doesn't look like this in the next Final Fantasy game, they fucked up.
They did. Like damn.
Yeah. That's big effort, bro.
Big effort.
Like I think Clive is a good character, right? Like he's the most down to earth, at least, of all the Final Fantasy characters, and like
He's the oldest too, right?
he's probably the main characters for sure. I think Barrett is like low key the oldest party member. But yeah, like, they need to do stuff with that. I don't even know what the hell I was gonna say. I have no idea.
Yeah.
I hope it's I hope you guys like it more than I did, at least the ending of the story.
Well, I am very critical about good storytelling.
Oh yeah, emotional stuff, right? Like there's a part in 7 Remake, 'cause not spoilers really, but like Cloud just looks at Aerith and gets a flash forward of like what happens to her when he's like leaving like that junk town. That little tear, like that was
He's like, why am I crying?
Good.
But that was
the player
straight
knows
for
what
the
happened.
head, yeah.
Right? Like that was good. That made me feel something. I've never felt anything like that in 16 at all. There's no.
Gotcha.
It's very hard for me to like. I can feel hype, but feeling
Even
like deep
hype,
emotion.
Yeah.
I was hype, I guess, for the one fight, but like my PlayStation made me not as hype when it told me I was gonna die.
Look, I was hyped when Clive did the one thing every Final Fantasy fans ever wanted someone to do, and that's the only they had that. That's what I'm talking about.
You said what?
Clive did one thing that I think every Final Fantasy fan has ever wanted a character to do, and I'm down for it. I was laughing
that's
the
what
whole
I thought
time.
you were talking about. Yeah, for sure. For sure.
When I think about like everybody tells me how much the beginning of The Last of Us where the daughter died, and like everybody gets all emotional. I did not shed a single tear, but I was like, okay, I see what.
Yeah, but you feel
I
it, right?
For the dude. I felt for the dude, but I wasn't like sad.
I mean, yeah, like okay, it's setting up how it's obviously setting up Joel's character and how he's like an unfeeling asshole.
Mm-hmm.
The character
sets up his character instantly.
Yeah, it's definitely sets up his character. Like I appreciate that. Like I thought it was what's the word I'm looking for? It was tasteful in the way that they did it. I like the second one where we're not gonna talk about that, but yeah.
I think the best
Definitely
part of the game is Clive telling somebody to look out a window. That was probably the most emotion that got out of me.
Look out a window.
Yeah, because he was like, "You stupid bitch, look out the window." He was like,
oh yeah,
that was pretty funny. Like, other than that, like I don't think like the guy's performance, Ben Starr's performance, like is insanely good. Like it's too good at some points for some of the stuff that's happening.
Man poured his heart into it.
Well, that boy was killing it.
He believed in it, bro. He believed.
Voice
You
actors
absolutely
really need to get
believe.
paid more.
Yeah, a lot of people need to
All
get
the
paid
shit that
more.
they
A
go
lot of
through.
things.
Bro, I mean, you see, there's an actor strike and a writer strike going on, bro. This is real out here.
It's funny because then the fucking strikes leave you all a shithead. Oh shit, The Witch is so bad.
Hope that Warhammer series is good. That man knows what's good and what's not. That shit's crazy.
I can't wait for that.
Yeah.
I'm so hyped.
But I think that's a bow on Final Fantasy, right? Anything else anybody want to mention?
I think that's it. At least that's it for me. Anybody?
For now.
Yeah. So y'all rate this when
Until
y'all
I
finish.
actually finish it, yeah.
Yeah, definitely want to hear those opinions. And I think it's a good point to end it since we're about, I don't know how many hour over 2. We're definitely over 2 hours, so thank you all for listening once again to Pixelated
If indeed
Perception.
you still are.
If you are somehow, you're a nut.
Troopers, soldiers.
Yeah.
Welcome to the army.
Indeed.
Shut up, Dizelle.